Hey y'all, hey.
You the happiest podcast hostess ever.
That was so funny because I was trying to adjust the light while we were doing it. Hey y'all, hey. You have stuff falling over here. Welcome to another episode of Theories and Thoughts podcast with your hostess, Anya and
Fancy.
you know what? I said I need to give me a little cute little name. I would go with Monroe. I was like fancy
But you would go with your what though? You said.
with Monroe. That's a nickname one of my girlfriends gave me on my for my 30th. I had red hair, not this red, it was a different color red. And I had this halter dress
Oh,
and it kind of flourished. She was like, it reminded her of Maryland.
okay. At first, I don't know why I kept thinking you were saying my role. That's why I'm like, what is she saying? And I was like, how do you get that out of out of Anya? But it's funny because I have my own Marilyn Monroe story. The first time we ever got drunk, that's what I thought I was. So my friends would call me that too. So yeah, we was young. But anyway, so yeah.
We'll be young again. To be young again. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for episode 34 of Theories and Thoughts podcast. So let's just jump right on in to our news stories. We have Bubba Wallace and NASCAR. A noose was found in Bubba Wallace's racing garage. And I want to say that was Saturday, Sunday? No. Was it Saturday?
I'm not exactly certain about the day. And actually, because just I'm gonna let you finish the story, and then because I had noticed some things earlier, and it kind of made me wonder about that. So,
Okay. So the noose was found in his racing garage. As you guys know, NASCAR has taken a stand and said that people cannot use
Confederate.
the Confederate thank you. That's why I got that's why we didn't see you, dude. Because I was like, wait, the Confederate flag, they cannot wave the Confederate flag. And actually there have been some people who have been very upset with NASCAR behind that. And one of those people is Mike Skinner's son. I didn't even get his name. That's how important it was to me. I didn't even get his name.
I don't.
So that's what I'm saying. That's how important it was for me to put his name on it. He actually wrote on under a comment. He wished that whoever put the noose there would have actually tied it around Bubba's neck and drug him. And he then came back and said that it was not racial. Okay, it wasn't racial, it wasn't race sensitive. But what I love is his father said that him and his wife raised his son, and his son is a fully grown man. I want to say that was his words, fully grown man, and they do not share in his views. So it's amazing that because people don't get to wave this flag, that they get so violent. They want to kill because they cannot wave this symbol of hatred. There was also a NASCAR driver who actually said that he would not, this would be his last year racing with NASCAR because of this situation. Fancy.
Okay, so we were kind of rushing to this episode, and so I actually forgot I had my notes together this time. So the one thing is, just about 5 o'clock, they made an announcement saying that the noose had already been there, but that's the reason. Initially, when you first started talking about the story, I started thinking about that they said that it was in like a garage that they didn't necessarily know that that Bubba would be using it. So after, yeah, so I don't think it was his house. I do know that it was in Alabama, but then they ended up releasing that they said that the news had actually been there since like maybe September of 2019. But all the same, I mean, it's Alabama, so I figured it was still probably racist nevertheless. And Skinner's comments were really like I mean, they were ugly, of course. And I was like really shocked to see his dad say that, that they don't support that. And I think that was good that he decided to separate himself from that. A lot of people wouldn't have, even when they know that it was wrong. Right. And, so I think that kind of, it might even possibly cause a divide between them. But Bubba also has like a pretty good history as far as in NASCAR, and so he is with the. Is he the only? I don't know how you describe NASCAR stuff, but he's the only one I thought that's black within that league. And I even read that he's had some other things. He was one of the ones who advocated for removing the Confederacy flag, as well as throughout this. A lot of people have been saying they're tired of hearing him talking about race. So for this to kind of come back and it be like, oh, that the news has already been there. I know that those same people are probably going to be ready to say something too. But he made this statement, and I liked it, and it was I wanted to read it to you all. There is only one driver from an African American background at the top level of our sport. I am the one. You're not going to stop hearing about the black drivers for years. Embrace it, accept it, and enjoy the journey. And so I was like, I think that was very in your face and just like, hey, I'm going to continue to talk about it because especially being in, the minority in an activity like that. I mean, I don't even really know too many black people that,
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It's just amazing that he was like, Bubba has ruined a sport that he's loved for 30 years. How is it ruined? And I seen Sharona's comments. Hey Shanice, I seen Sharona's comment about the Confederacy loss. How do these people still celebrate losing? You freaking lost. But you celebrate this shit and honor these people as if you won. They reenact this.
You know me, I'm always like, well, this administration, but I just gotta say, just even what you said, it just again makes me think about how with this administration, everything is so blatant, and then it's still just like, yeah, but we're gonna still do this anyway. Like we know y'all see through it, we know we lost, but we're gonna still go ahead and do this. And again, it also makes me think about the last presidential election and how that went. So yeah, it's just, I don't know.
From crazy to joyous, let's celebrate with Fab and Emily. They're having a baby girl. This will be the fourth child for the couple. It will be the third for Fabulous and Emily together. As you guys may know, Emily already has an older daughter. Her name is Tiana Williams, and she's currently dating No Limit Gyro. Gahibo, some of y'all. I don't know these kids.
Oh, G Herbo?
Yeah, him, G Herber. And the only reason why I know about him is because of his ex-girlfriend, Ari. Like, she's always on the Shade Room, y'all. I love the Shade Room. So she's always on the Shade Room. Ari dated everybody. Shit. And she always fighting somebody. And I just be like, Lord, I just pray for the little girl. But that's the only reason why I know of G Herbal. And Tiana is just so pretty. So this will be the fourth for the couple. So congratulations. You have anything you want to say on that?
No, just congrats.
All righty. Moving on. Liberty football players leaving due to racial insensitivity. Cornerback Carrie Claire. I kept saying I was going to start trying to hear their names before we come on here, y'all. But sorry. And Trayvon Land announced on social media Monday their decision to enter the portal after the trade portal after contemplating their futures at the school. Land, who ranks number 1 on Liberty's all-time recruits list. So this is major because this ain't no just like in NASCAR, the driver that said he's not gonna race anymore. NASCAR came back and was like, who are you? But this guy, he's big. He's big up there on the totem pole. So this is someone that they probably didn't think was going to say he wanted to leave. This is actually 2 weeks after Asia Todd stated that she was going to be a transfer as well. Transfer out of her school. This is all in part from a tweet that included a person in blackface, another with a KKK hood and robe. The image was from the Virginia's governor, Ralph Newham's medical school yearbook. And it was posted by Jerry Falwell Jr., the president of Liberty. Apparently, the tweet said, that he opposed what was going on, but it had to be something more. If these boys are like, we getting out of there. The president did say that it was to remind people of the governor's racist past. I love it because I'm starting to see black boys take on. I've seen some said they want to go to HBCU now. I've seen some athletes saying that, and sometimes we can't get to the stories, but a lot of the young boys are saying that they want to go to HBCUs now. They want to. They're actually making a statement. They're making. I think last week was it that we talked about the other.
Yeah. Chuba, I think was his name. That's
Yeah,
what I was thinking of too. With
yeah, they were
Oklahoma State or something.
Oklahoma, right? And they're just not taking it no more. They understand that they're going to make money regardless, whichever team they're on. So they're taking back their power, and I celebrate them. Fancy.
Yeah, I celebrate them as well. I didn't have much to add to that other than when you said it had to be something more to it. I really didn't. You do understand that the image was on the mask. I just didn't even understand how they got the full image on the mask. But other than that, that's really about it.
Right. And it's like you can't, as Funky Don even said, you can't backpedal and pussy pop after you didn't say something. These people love to do something and then turn around and say, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that. That wasn't supposed to be like that." They always feel like, "Oh, I'm gonna just do it." Blackface is not okay. Let me say it again. Blackface is not okay. In 2020, people are still doing blackface, even though that was from his yearbook. I don't give a damn. Blackface is not okay. Period. Moving on. Yes, Sharona, Fab, and Emily are still together after all their drama. I just noticed coming. Now, the next story, you guys may have remembered a couple of weeks ago, we was having some technical difficulties with the platform that we work on. And this guy was supposed to be on the show, but he was going to a protest and he was going to call in from wherever he was. But we didn't get a chance to talk to him, and Fancy actually interviewed the other guy on IG Live. Who am I talking about? Gary Chambers Jr. of Baton Rouge. Y'all, I follow him, and when I seen the first the first thing I seen was before he went up was the picture of Kanye's computer, and he said, "Look at this, look at Kanye." He said, "Look at Kanye," and I meant to text you. I meant to text you and tell you go to Gary's page right now. He said, "Look at Kanye." We're shopping while we're in this meeting, and I didn't know where they were. I just was like, I don't know who the hell Connie is, but I know she out of line. Where the hell she is? But baby, as Super said, Gary read them people to fulfill, honey. And know what I love about it? I don't think he cussed once. I don't feel like he got ignorant once. He was so professional and educated. It made me proud. Like, that was a read, boo. That was a read. And he said, I was going to come up here and talk about Robert Lee, but I'm going to talk about you, Connie. Girl, I almost hit the floor. Like, that's who the hell Connie is. That's who Connie is. Baby, honey boo. I said, and then I watched him. I've been following, everybody's interviewing him and everything. So TMZ interviewed him, and he had on a Go Home Connie shirt.
Yeah.
Not vote her ass out, because he also was saying that he said you should have resigned 2 years ago when you choked that man. I was like, what man let that little woman choke him? First of all. Second of all, he was like, you should have resigned the other time I told you should resign, and you should walk right out of here and resign. And I'm like, can they not vote her up out of there?
They have a petition actually started. I just saw it. And I was trying to ask someone how could we access it? Because I saw someone post some pictures about it on my timeline, and it had but they were like actually sign it in a physical location. So I was asking them where we could sign it at online, because I think they said they need to get either 8,000 or 80,000 signatures. And so we've had some people on the Swagger page asking, if what they could do to help. So I don't know if anybody knows anything, though. Of course, you can feel free to leave it in the comments because we do want to, of course, I like to sign it as well because my daughter's school isn't, it's like kind of separate from the EBR school district, but they still do a lot of things together. They still are kind of lumped under there in a sense. So it's just as important. So yeah.
Yeah, I
And
wonder.
and now I don't know if you want me to go, but I did really feel proud listening to Gary speak to her, and even before that happened, it was a whole nother video that went up before that about someone else about the voting part, but just to even go in there and voice your opinions, it's like really seeing a change. But it's not a change for what I know of him, just having kind of followed his work here. So, but yeah, that was like, who would have thought that EBR would just even, and that he would, just really take off in that sense. But in that sense, also in this moment while we're going through all of this, but I also think that it's great because there are issues with the school system. A lot of people still, part of it, I don't know if it was within the same meeting, but part of what they were discussing was the fact that they were just hiring a new superintendent, and they chose someone who really did not look like the students, and so that's kind of a big deal when we're already like just not within the top. I actually had the numbers. Hold up, let me pull them up for you. Or did I not put them on here? I didn't put them on my sheet. But I know, like, with all of the state testing and everything, EBR was still falling behind, like, even with what the rest of the state, whatever their percentage was, it was still, like, lower than that. So, especially being within the capital city, it seems like that we should have a better educational system. So, like, I'm all for it, just the whole educational reform throughout the community. And I think that it's really great that I'm seeing more Black men stand up and really speak on it. So, and I think it's kind of different because it seems like it would normally be women, but I'm really seeing like a lot of people that I've worked with in the past just like really embracing it and coming forth and just really expressing their concerns. But there's also still a concern of the fact that recently with the whole city of St. George thing, like people are worried that, of course, that's going to be with them breaking apart. That's tax dollars that's leaving out of the school system. So now, that's a whole nother thing within itself as well. So there's a lot of reasons for parents to be concerned right now.
Gotcha. He did say that they will be changing the name of that school that was in question. They're forming a committee to change the name. He don't know what the name is going to be at this time. However, he hopes it's one of those names that he gave out. That's something that I love. Something that I really, 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 really like is, and I always tell people, don't offer a problem if you don't have a solution. Don't give a problem if you don't have a solution. He was like, we shouldn't because this, and this. But here's some names, and this is why they qualify. He was like, here were some names in here, qualify. My high school, actually, in New Orleans, not too far from Baton Rouge, a lot of people are saying that, that the name should be changed. But I'm kind of like this on it. One of the reasons is because I actually did research on John McDonald. I went to John McDonald 35 Senior High School. It was actually the first secondary high school in New Orleans that Blacks can go to. So they have that history. But not just that. Mr. John McDonald, I hear rumors that, I think it was Sharon that told me that he had fell in love with a mulatto woman himself. But he did have slaves, but it's like he enslaved people to get them their freedom. And he gave a lot to the slave he gave a lot to it's fleeing me right now. It's some kind of trade to get people back to Africa. Like he gave a lot of money to help them get a plane ticket and give them money while they're in Africa. So he did a lot, and even in his death, he freed some slaves. So to me, that's not one of these cruel people like Robert E. Lee that I didn't know Robert Lee was so cruel. But Gary was like, he was, he said he would brand them, and he was very, very hard to his slaves. So maybe that's why they celebrate him so hard.
Because it is a lot of Robert E. Lee stuff. And I didn't know that about McDonald. Of course, I don't know much, about New Orleans, but that's
Right.
really interesting, though. And I can understand how they could be kind of conflicting, in a sense. So I
Right.
get that.
He gave a lot to the school systems in New Orleans, and he actually gave a lot of money to. When you just did that, I was like, "Wait, no, you good, you good." I was just like, "Wait."
No, I was really trying to show Sharon a comment and move, and move on.
Yes,
That was
she said the best and the brightest. That's our slogan. Um, a choice, not an echo. And in knowing, it made me even more prouder to go to that school because I was like, he really fought to try to. He did his part as a white man, the things that he could do. They can buy their freedom. He couldn't just say, "Okay, you're free." He had to, do different things to help them get their freedom. And then in his death, he gave $2 million, I want to say, to the New Orleans and to Baltimore school systems where a bunch of black folks live. And he wanted it was for black children and underprivileged whites. So that's why they have so many schools named after him in New Orleans. So just a little history. Y'all know when I get caught up on stuff. So, the names of the schools being changed. My middle school actually got changed. It was Samuel J. Peters, and it got changed to Israel Augustine Jr. But we were the last school of Peters. We was the last class of Peters. So.
Who is the other person though?
Israel Augustine? I don't know. Why you do the sponsor? I'll tell you.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then. So our first sponsor of the evening is Seal the Deal. Anyone can start a business, but not everyone is a CEO. What makes the difference is business credibility. Build business credit within 90 days. Visit Seal the Deal at Talk. That's TALK Biz BIZ Credit or CREDIT.com. Let me respell that for y'all because I just really hate slandering people's websites like that. That's TALKBIZCREDIT.com. So you all can visit their website and check them out on Instagram. And on Instagram, they are Biz Credit Bay. That's BIZCREDIT BAE. And Asia has been with us for a while, so I know that she can help you with your credit. She was once, and she might still have several daycare centers, and so that's really how she began to educate herself. So you all can check her out and see what she has going on, as well as she has like some groups and so on that you all can join as well. So, look, Anya, how you doing?
I'm good. I found it for you because that was interesting for you to ask me that. Israel Augustine was the first judicial judge in Louisiana, Louisiana Criminal District. He was the first African American elected as a judge in Louisiana Criminal District Court. So it's so crazy that the school was named after him because that was a horrible school. That was a bad school, not horrible. It was a bad school. It was.
Okay. I
only went because it was my district school. But listen, and I was looking at it, and he actually died after the school was named after him. So he got to see that the school was named after him. He died in 94, and I think the school was named after him in 93. I want to say I graduated. Wait, no, I don't know him.
Well, I was gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. What you about to say?
I want to say I just know that I don't think he was alive when it got changed because I think my middle school year was 95. Yeah, I graduated middle school in 95.
Well, I was gonna say like maybe last year. Yeah, last year we featured a black student from New Orleans. He won like an essay contest for Meet the World Image Solutions Black History Month essay contest. And I'm wondering if that was his grandfather. I remember his grandfather was someone like really prominent, one of the first something within the community. So that's why I was curious once you said that again, because I'm like, I don't know, but I can't remember what his last name was, but we also featured him in print. But yeah, I just wanted to know that.
Okay. On to our subject of the evening: buying black. Trend, fad, or for real? What y'all think? Y'all put y'all comments in the comments down below. I'm about to say downstairs. Where am I? Um, you start off.
No, you're wrong for this. And you know how I am about making decisions. So actually, what I came up with was this. I think I almost kind of want to say it might be a fad in some ways. I'm not gonna I say I believe it's real right now, but the reason why I kind of wonder if it might just be a fad is because, and maybe I should have said trend, because I know that right now there are people with more income than usual. So I think maybe they might be buying more consciously, but once that money is gone, then I don't really know, if they'll still be shopping the same way. But that's the only reason why I say that, because I do believe that more people are paying attention, and actually seeking more black owned businesses, or brands, but I just don't know how long it's gonna last.
So personally, it's real. In my life, it's real. But for a society, I feel like it's trendy. It's trendy to say, I got this from a black owned business right now. Like, oh, that's what's up. That's what's up, sis. That's what's up. And to try to seek out these things. I say in my life because I consciously, before all of this, my general doctor, she was an Asian lady. And when she retired, I specifically seeked out for a black woman doctor. I seeked out that. That's what I wanted for myself. I consciously buy from black women brands. I buy my moisture, my shea butter. She'll gonna kill me. She be like, I be jacking up everything she do. Don't kill me, friend. I get that from Sharona. I have my feminine wash from my friend Mel, Mommy Magic. I have put on makeup. Makeup is from the Candy Lady, another black businesses. I intentionally seek after different things. Now, do I see a problem with personally buying from other races? No. But there are certain things that I go after. Like when I decided to start selling wine, I first went after black wineries because I was like, we don't know about them. And one of the reasons for me personally to seek out black businesses and different things is because other races don't generally, she put every time. Black bit, but I use it though. Push. Black businesses, we have to patronize our own because other people are not really seeking out to patronize us. I have a black therapist. That was important to me. That was important to me because when I was looking for a therapist, I was looking for one for me and my niece. And I wanted her to meet, and it was important that she had natural hair because I wanted her to be as close to what I look like as possible. Because that's what was important to me. So for me personally, it's real because these things happened before this. I say it's trendy now because of everything that's happening. Everybody's like, we got to put the money back in our community. We got to keep the dollars here. But a lot of times we're the hardest on ourselves. We're the hardest on black businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody posted one day. There was like, you have a problem with a black business? Okay, don't go on your social media and tear them up. You don't do that to other businesses. Maybe contact them and let them know, where they messed up or whatever. Because one thing you have to understand is a lot of, especially small black businesses, people are doing other things to fund their businesses, or they're just making it. So sometimes they're gonna mess up. There in any business is gonna be an issue. Any business. We have to keep that in mind. Also, but I just feel like we're the hardest on us. Like, as soon as we mess up, that's why I don't. Somebody was like, other businesses are unprofessional, but you don't be screaming that they're unprofessional. I also seen someone say all Black businesses are not unprofessional, so stop saying that. So Fancy.
Wow. Actually, just when you said that about the whole when we mess up thing, it just made me think about like um last year we had some prints to go out, and it was like a special order, and the woman actually, like, initially, because it was right, like we met it the deadline right on time, and she was like everything was good, but then later on she emailed me, and she told me like some things that she had noticed that that I had not noticed, or some things I maybe had told graphics to fix but they didn't. And it hurt, of course, because like people know me know I really put a lot into everything. Any type of criticism I can kind of struggle with, but at the same time, I appreciated her coming to me and telling me, because it made me think about like in about 2015 or something, we had did some prints, and this time it really was not my fault at all. Like I ordered the paper was actually different than the paper that we had used with our first order with this company. And so when the issues came out, the woman that was on the cover was like, "Oh, it looks like you made this in your house." I kind of had a Be Simone moment. She was like, "It looks like," and it really wasn't the same type of paper, because I've had, we had those other issues and people had saw those. And that was part of the reason why the woman wanted to be on the cover. And when I tried to contact the printer, she was just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened." Never tried to reprint anything. She just insisted, and I'm like, I'm rubbing this issue and I'm rubbing that issue. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I still had to be the one. Like we had advertisers pull out, like our account was in the negative. Like it was a really bad experience, because that woman went to everybody else, and told them. And so I get it. I really do think that people do need to give us another opportunity to, to fix what might be wrong. A lot of people don't care. Like somebody, my daughter had bought something from, it supposed to have been ready like at a certain time, and they went way beyond the time. And then she was just like, "I'll just send your money back." That's like what she sent her. That's what she texted her. No type of time frame or anything. So there is a difference. And the thing is, I think that for those that do try to go the extra mile for you, I mean, it may not even be the extra mile, because you might have fell short in some other type of way, so now you're actually kind of replacing it. But just be more kind of almost like what Brandon said, more compassionate or more understanding, because a lot of us, we are just I'm not gonna say just out here, but there's just still things, it's a lot different for a bigger company to make a mistake or have something to go wrong, and for them to fix it. It might not make any type of difference to them. It's just one within another number. But when you're dealing with the smaller businesses, then, sometimes you do have to be more patient. And that also goes with what you said about being intentional about your shopping. And it's funny that I actually wrote that down, because I said it's funny that you use the word intentional also. Because I was watching a live that Dr. Keith Hallman did with Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. And one thing she was saying is they were talking about Black business and, the support that people are getting right now. He even said that as well, like you have to be intentional with your shopping. So for me, like I don't necessarily always buy Black, especially not right now, but I would like to be. But I realize even still, because I know that I want whatever it is I want right then, that I needed to go ahead on and start looking for those brands that I wanted to support or substitute, for whatever it is. Like now I'm gonna start shopping with them because I know they have that. And I've even made posts, like, hey, especially like for house stuff, because I don't do just like a lot of leisure shopping. Again, I am a small business. And then I also just want to touch on the fact that while we're in the whole midst of this, buying Black, let's buy Black media placement or a Black advertisement. Like let's utilize our Black owned advertisement channels, because I don't know if anybody's noticed, but right now everybody and their mama has a sponsored ad on Instagram. Well, who are you giving your dollars to right there? So I mean, like for me, of course, I'm looking at it that way, but I'm also looking at it, just overall, because I'm like, okay, we're in the middle of this movement, and then even when you look at all these companies that have came out with all these statements, nobody has said, hey, we're going to put more of our advertising dollars into Black channels, into Black media. But oftentimes we're the target market, but they're not really wanting to spend that type of money with us. And oftentimes when we go to them for sponsorship, the first thing they say is, oh, well, we created a nonprofit for that. And I'm not certain if it's them in particular, but I looked at the Nielsen report, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Procter and Gamble is one of the biggest brands that Black people spend their money with. So, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago, I think we reached out to them and they said they had their own organization. So they can sponsor stuff. So I'm just saying, when you're looking at things like that, look at the people that might actually could be more, that would benefit more from it, because basically all they're doing is recycling their money. So
Right.
that's my spill. That's my spill on it. But yeah.
No, I agree with you. Definitely. Black media space, who's your target audience? Pay attention to that. It's not always just, just about, and then the influx, because like I'm a part of black doctors and dentists and physicians and DFW. I'm in black restaurants and everybody's so crowded. I'm like, so when this is over with, are we still gonna be eating at these restaurants? I am. I'm still gonna be eating at these different eateries or trying them out or whatever. I don't feel a need to rush out and eat at each one every day. I just don't feel that. But I'm just like you with the black media. We gotta pour into that. I made myself laugh earlier. I was actually I don't watch a lot of TV. And I like social media. I'm a social media person. I be on my social media. I'm connecting and talking, or I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm on YouTube. That's who I am. Nothing's wrong with someone else being who they are. That's just who I am. And but when I'm on, one of my favorite podcasts is Jamil Hill. When I'm on YouTube, I'm watching The Breakfast Club. Still black outlets. You see what I'm saying? It's still black outlets. I'm always, whenever I'm looking for different things, like I was looking for a face moisturizer, a black owned business. She actually went to high school with me. I'm intentional about those things. Now, am I going to change my doctors? No, I love my OB. And she's a white woman from Baton Rouge. She's a white girl from Baton Rouge. I'm cool with that. I am, if it ain't broke, don't fix it when it comes to stuff like that. But say, for instance, if she leaves and goes somewhere, I may seek out a black whatever. But, my dentist isn't black either. But if I want to go to a dermatologist, I'm probably going to seek out a black one, because I feel like they know my skin. They know my hair, different things. I feel like we just really, again, going to be intentional, not just now, but later.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get these lists together. If you have a business, Swagger should be on your list of people that you're going to advertise with. They have a plethora of customers. Why not? Why not support this woman? And I was laughing when you was like, it made you feel, because you put everything. Let me tell y'all something. Fancy puts her all into this. She eats, sleeps, and breathes Swagger because she wants to put out a great product. She's a professionalist. I said it right. So whenever it doesn't go well, it drives her nuts. So your brand is good in her hands. Know that. Know that. So she should be one of those people, especially in the South, especially if your business is in the South. I'll even throw theories and thoughts. We have a good viewership. And it's not hundreds of dollars to sponsor an episode. And that's recycling it so we can get better, so we get a better platform.
Right. Like we could actually start meeting up somewhere. I mean, because people be like, well, so-and-so does this, but again, it is all about being intentional and like, what are you actually supporting? So right.
we can do stuff. We have, you guys have the buy black owned businesses directory.
Yeah.
You can buy into that. You can buy into that. I know Tip Jones have a women's directory. Another black woman doing it for women entrepreneurs. Hers is not just black entrepreneurs. But what I'm saying is there's these different outlets. Are you actually buying into it, or it has to be a big company? That's another thing. Does it have to be this big old company before you believe that these people are the truth? I love Sharona's brand. I always said Sharona, she needs to do locks because she does locks. Sharona, During this pandemic, a lot of people was trying to figure out how to do their hair. Sharona walked me through flat twisting my hair. She's an educator. But you're not gonna go to her and pay her, and she gonna give you that one-on-one treatment. Like, she was patient with me, honey, because I am not good. Look, I used to do hair back in the day, but this hair right here, I know y'all see this. For those that can see it, it's thick, and I don't be want to call. But that's one way of, working with a Black brand and you learning how to do something for yourself. That's
Right.
all I'm saying. We have to get in and give to our small businesses. And I find that sometimes whenever we post about our, us starting new things, a lot of times you don't get that much support on those. But then people be quick to say, oh, well, I thought they was doing this. Well, you didn't support that person. How they going to keep doing
it? Well, that's a mouthful.
Businesses die because you're not supporting them, or you got something negative to say about them. You know what I'm saying? My t-shirt business, one of my girlfriends actually hit me up and she was like, how much you do t-shirts? I said, girl, I don't do my shirts. Actually, a Black woman does my shirts. Nikki. She did my store. She does my brand. She does a lot of things behind it. I chose to work with another Black woman. Do I have a problem with anybody else? No, I'm just intentional in that way because other people are not going to be intentional about our people.
Right.
What Sharona said, most people want to see you have a multi-million-dollar business before they believe that you can be sponsored by them. Right. Or here's the thing, they see you coming up doing something and they're like, here, I need this, I need that. They got their hand out, but they ain't never once watched a video. They ain't never once sent nobody away. They ain't share shit. They ain't do nothing. And this is not a rant, y'all. I'm just saying, this is real life. I have people that's been buying things, and I'm appreciative. I am so much appreciative. But it's almost like I seen somebody else do another podcast, and people was like, I want to be on your podcast, I want to be on your podcast. But we're always looking for people to join us and hold the conversation with us. We're always looking for people to join in the conversation. But yeah.
And to be honest, and it's kind of odd because I don't even like for this. I don't even like be concerned about other people in a lot of ways. Like remember you asked me, do I have some ideas? But I guess also because you oftentimes have ideas or something like I might tweak it or something just kind of sporadically comes up. But I don't know, because I just feel like, hey, if it's somebody that we wanted, I feel like we could get them though, and so I think we also have a variety of guests, we do. Go from people that may be well known to people that may not be. So it's like, we're providing an opportunity. But I don't know. I think it's just kind of, I mean, after having done this in particular for almost 10 years, just, working in media, you do realize how people will try to attach themselves to you when they think that you're doing something good. And then when they don't see you moving, then they just move along. But I kind of think that's just kind of almost anybody. Because even before, I used to be kind of bothered by it. And then I started to look at it like, I'm going to more so be paying attention to the person that's actually doing something, So I was like, well, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. But then I also look at the consistency of people, because it's what I oftentimes look at is how you'll see someone say that they're going to do something, and just the day before or 2 weeks ago, they was about to do this too, and then you about to, and then it might also be like how you just said, well, they didn't support, so they just moved on to the other thing. But I do kind of be skeptical when I see people just kind of jumping around too much, like, right. Oh, I'm selling life insurance and I'm going to be doing this. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, but to each his own, because I just like to focus on one thing until I know I got that, where I want it to be. And that's just kind of me and my personal preference.
So different. I'm starting it, and then when I feel like it's good, I'm going to the next thing as I still horn on that. I did want to bring up on Killer Mike's, that's why I had my phone. Killer Mike's Trigger Warning with Killer Mike. On one of his episodes, he wanted to buy black for 24 hours. And even though, because some people be like, oh, that's not really black owned because they get their stuff from other people. Mostly everything we buy, it has a black face because we are the owners of it. But the back door of it is somebody else. But that doesn't say don't, because you're still putting money in our community. You're still putting money in somebody's black pockets. That's how I look at it. Go ahead.
Well, also, I was just gonna say, and then that's just a matter of us building our own, and maybe if you supported that person that's almost like the middleman, they might could be able to, move forward and get something. Like I oftentimes look at like we have to use another printer. So, but what if I had my own print machines? You know what I mean? So, but that would of course again come with that regular support or more support. So, just a thought, because I did watch the episode and it was really good, and I remember like he asked, what was it, like the meat or something, like who were they owned by or who, wherever that was. And it again just made me think, that's why we should be pushing for more ownership of more things and us just branching out and doing more stuff. Like I know I've even said before, it's good to be an electrician. It's even better to be an electrical contractor, but it's even better if we could own a power company, because that's what we need. So
can we get together and do that? Can we mobilize that? Maybe that's a conversation that we should have one day. A topic. Yes, Shanice, I love Killer Mike too. Some things I don't agree with, but most of it I do. Yes, it was Mr. Rona. It was I would have just not ate. I'm sorry. But there are black owned brands. What is that? There's a website with a bunch of black brands on it.
Buy Black, We Buy Black.
That's we buy black, buy black. Buy black.
And then there's also, I'm just saying, because if you don't want to use our directory, there are also a lot of other directories coming about, like different lists and so on that I've been seeing people saying. And then Beyonce got something, right? A website in the directory.
Yeah, she just shared a directory. Yeah, and WeBuyBlack.com is a thing, and they have, because I remember going on here and they have dishwashing liquid and different things. Now, here's the thing. Stop, pause. It's going to be a little bit more. You know why? Because they can't produce in bulk. They have to produce as they do it. So it's going to be a little bit more. But that's how they get to be able to buy bulk. To produce in bulk. By being able to, and then when they buy in bulk, they can lower their prices whenever they have more customers. So, sorry. So, just try to look at their website. We Buy Black. Look at Swagger's directory. Look at the directory that Beyonce did. If you're intentionally buying black, if there's some products, especially that you're like, I need to buy that black.
And then also just there are more black owned online hair stores coming about, which is one of our sponsors for tonight I want to discuss. But just and then there was something else that you said. Oh, when you suggested that buying in bulk, it just made me consider like, what if because it might do cost more with us buying an individual item, but what if we could possibly buy as a family? You know what I mean? Like I have sisters. Like what if we could all buy detergent at one time and then see if but it don't, of course you don't want to just pressure them like, oh, can we get a discount? Because of course we do hate that. But just but just like, I don't know, I don't know all the stipulations, but that just crossed my mind because that could also help as well,
That's another thing I wanted to throw out there. Being black products doesn't mean that it's always cheap. Doesn't mean that you get a discount. It doesn't mean that you get to have the worst customer service. Black entrepreneurs, it doesn't mean that just because I'm black, you cannot be professional with me. It doesn't mean that you don't need to be on time. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't give me the same courtesy as you would give someone else. It just means that I look like you and I'm trying to support you. Customers give us the same grace. I'm a black entrepreneur. Give us the same grace that you would give non-black entrepreneurs. Take your time. If there's a review, give us a review. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what we're doing right. But most of the time, when I was looking for an apartment once, my friend told me, she said, people leave reviews when they're angry. A lot of people don't leave reviews when they're happy. So let's get into the habit of that, doing just that, leaving a review when you're happy with the service. Fancy.
That's a good point. And also, again, I had some more stuff that I just kind of wanted to note from the Nielsen report, because like how I just said about the I mentioned a hair store, but I do see more Black business women, going overseas, and I don't know, I guess it might still be, I guess you say, manufactured in China with the hair, but they're getting, and then what, some of them are even saying that they have their own, what you call it? Warehouses or something there, like when they go over there. So I mean, there's some growth there, and I think that that's really important because African Americans dominate the ethnic hair and beauty aids categories. So if we're spending all our money there, then I think it would be, even better, especially if we have more control there. It says that we account for almost 90% of the overall spend. And then also just pulled from Nielsen, there it says that 42% of Black adults expect brands they purchase to support social causes, 16% higher than the total population. 35% of African American shoppers are more likely to agree when a celebrity designs a product, are more likely to buy it. And now think about this though. Do we really know if that's really their stuff or if they're just pushing something? Because look at the whole what's her name? Kylie Jenner situation. Like, we discovered that wasn't even really her brand. Like, those weren't even really, and then look how, and then she probably still got some more money after it came out because now she's back in the news again, So that's something to think about with that one. And what else? I told you about the Procter and Gamble, but also just kind of circling back to the whole advertising thing, and just because it was something that I noticed, because the stat says that African Americans are more likely than the total population to agree that advertising provides meaningful information on most platforms, including mobile, which is at 42%, television 23 or higher, radio was 21%, and internet is 18% or higher. So they know that we are watching the ads, though, and we know that oftentimes especially the worst ads, the alcohol ads and advertisers and things like that are what's placed within the Black community, whereas those billboards and things like that, aren't placed in those other type of communities. And I am not gonna lie, like I've said several times, I live in the hood. I hate seeing that, but it's so crazy because like I'll see whenever people go and buy one of those billboard placements, then everybody's just like, oh, that's when that person has really came up. But they came up by support, not only something that we really don't, that I think it kind of clutters the community, or kind of, it just makes it something. And then also the fact that oftentimes the people that own those billboards, they don't look like us as well. Now if we do start to own some of those billboards, then I might reconsider that. But until that time comes, because I thought you got to also own like maybe the property, or you're renting the property or something that's where it's at. So yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have anything more to say. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't die down. I hope that people still follow the trend and how important it is to buy into our own. You, Fancy?
Well, I just hope that they continue to support, and I hope that for those businesses that, because I'm not, really, like I said, I kind of feel like our sales and stuff have gone down, but I'm ready for us to get our new issue out. So that's something that I'm working on. But I was going to say, I hope that those businesses that are doing well and really profiting during this time, that they're doing right by their customers, and that they're also able to, I don't know, do something that can kind of repay it, to keep the cycle going, that they're not just like, oh, we made all this money off the Black community because we're buying Black right now, then now we're going to go out and buy all this designer stuff. No, do something meaningful.
Right. All right.
So our last question for the evening, I was looking at Shanice's other comment over here, but I wasn't quite
the authentic support. What she said, I hope the support is authentic. Right.
Yeah. So our second sponsor for the evening is the Cookie Box Store. You can shop online for your favorite men and women beauty and skincare products with the Cookie Box Store beauty store, 24/7. Visit theCookieBoxStore.com, and that's COOKIEBOXSTOR.com, and their Instagram is the Cookie Box Store, exactly as it is. THECOOKIEBOXSTORE. So y'all check them out.
I hope they're not spelled the Cookie Box Store. Anyway, that's a cute name, but that's not what I thought it was.
Really?
If you said a cookie box store, I would have thought desserts. I
Oh,
thought it was a box dessert, but nevertheless, anywho,
but I like it. That was cute.
it is. Speaking of supporting Black,
Like, we go ahead and give a look.
we be on it every week, and you can get it personalized. Show your support by purchasing your tumbler today at swagger.net slash product slash theories hyphen thoughts hyphen personalized hyphen never hyphen thirsty hyphen tumbler for $35. Your never thirsty tumbler. Swagger is currently, you guys are still
Yeah.
currently running a special on their on our VOB directory. List your list your business for a year for only $90. That's less than $1 a day.
Yeah, and then it's only actually $10 a month, so you're getting $30 off of that.
Yeah. Product based, service based, we got you. Either way, email advertise at swagger.net, ADVERS. I mean, ADVERTISE at swagger.net. Damn. Tonight I am wearing my logo shirt.
Yeah, that's cute.
It has my logo on it. Um, as you guys know, I did launch my boutique. It is a t-shirt boutique. I always say that it's expression wear. That's what I call it, expression wear. You can catch up and see what all I have going on at Miss MZ at www.mzthangboutique.com. You can also follow my boutique on IG at Miss Things Boutique. MZTHANGZ Sorry, yeah, I'm dyslexic as I told y'all, and sometimes I mix up my words. You can also follow me on Instagram at ladyceo.com. At ladyceo, lady.ceo. All right. And I also have a lady and her wine. You can find all the information right there on my Instagram because it's on my link tree. So bam. Anything else fancy?
Nope. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.